What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including whether Triple H said John Cena is the WWE's last big star. Peyton Royce also has talent in bodybuilding. Is the WWE reviving Saturday night's main event? Chris Jericho exposes a WWE star who leaked Dynamite results and could have been a possible spy in the company. Why Raw Underground dropped its dancers and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first bit of news. Now our first story looks at whether Triple H admitted that John Cena is the WWE's last big star. Now, this is according to WWE superstar Ryback, and that's what Triple H told him. The big guy was discussing a time when his WWE contract was up and negotiations would be coming up. According to Ryback, Triple H told him not to count on a big money deal. This goes back when I was there and Hunter told me when I was in that top position or working in that top position and then the contract negotiations were coming up, Triple H goes, "Ryan," and he was just shooting me straight. He goes, "We're never gonna have another marquee name after John Cena ever again. He's the last one." Now, the WWE has seen some huge stars in the past, names such as Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, and of course John Cena. While Cena was arguably on the lower level than the aforementioned stars, he was still the WWE's top dog and the face that runs the place. Sorry, AJ. Based on rumors we've heard throughout the years, it's not that the WWE can't make top stars like Cena and company, but that they're afraid to do so out of concern said star might get too big for their own good. In light of the WWE's business problems, such a policy seems counterproductive. Next up, Alexa Bliss has feelings for Braun Strowman. Now, this is a question the WWE Universe is asking after Bliss's sit-down interview on the 14th August SmackDown. The segment featured highlights of Bliss and Strowman's partnership during the Mixed Tag Team Challenge, followed by questions about their friendship, and then questions on whether there were any romantic feelings. Bliss said that there were feelings and that they care about each other, but she stopped short of saying there was a romantic spark. Still, it's obvious the WWE is going with a growing triangle between Braun Strowman, Alexa Bliss, and The Fiend. Will Bliss find herself siding with one of the WWE's most monstrous men, or is she simply caught in the middle? It's definitely one of the WWE's better storylines on SmackDown, and fans will hopefully get some answers at SummerSlam. Next up, Peyton Royce wins at a bodybuilding event. Now, massive congratulations to Peyton Royce, aka Cassandra R. Neal of the Iconics, on scoring herself a second place and third place trophy at a bodybuilding fitness competition. She posted some photos of herself at the event, including one with her husband Sean Spears and another with Iconics tag partner Billie Kay. This was her first fitness competition and she shared the following on Instagram. "I am so happy I got second place in True Novice and third place in Open Bikini. What an incredible day. I had an absolute blast stepping on stage as a bikini competitor for the first time, something I've been wanting to do for years now. So grateful for all the support and love I've received on this venture. I cannot thank you all enough. I owe so many thanks to Ferland Bailey, who coached me through every step of this prep the past 3 weeks. My love, Sean Spears, supports me through everything I set out to do, and Billie Kay as well for always believing me. I am so blessed." Like many WWE superstars, Peyton has interests outside the ring, and her wins at the event could lead to bigger mainstream exposure, something the WWE is always looking for with its performers. With rumors flying around that the WWE is interested in pushing Peyton as a single star, this win should only help. Next up is WWE reviving Saturday night's main event. WWE could be interested in bringing back the vintage Saturday night opening specials that aired on NBC during the 80s and 90s before briefly reviving it in the 2000s. A report from Steve Fernandez of PW Insider noted, on August 11th, WWE applied for several trademarks for Saturday night's main event. The trademarks include items such as toys, clothing, ringtones, and other collectibles. And this application could be for any number of reasons, including a revival of the once popular wrestling series, a new line of collectibles based on it, and an attempt to protect the property from being stolen, or any combination of the reasons just mentioned. Would you guys like to see Saturday night's main event being revived for a one-off special? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Chris Jericho exposes an ex-NXT star who leaked Dynamite results and could have been a possible mole in the company. While taped wrestling shows have their advantages, one major disadvantage is the possibility of spoilers being leaked onto the internet. During a Saturday night special YouTube stream, Le Champion discussed the individual who spoiled Eric Bischoff's surprise appearance on Dynamite, which is hilariously ironic given Bischoff's habit for spoiling taped Raws during the Monday Night War, giving the results on Live Nitro. But he had this to say.
When we had the debate and Eric Bischoff was announced on Reddit, and we know what the spy is, by the way. Oh, we know. He'll never fucking be back in AEW. NXT reject was a spy. So, print that.
Once the news hit, AEW had a choice as to how to handle things, and according to Jericho,
I was like, listen, we can announce this or we can just not announce it and don't worry about it and see, the people that know will know and maybe they'll watch if they weren't going to. And the people that don't know will still be surprised. And that's exactly what happened. People were super surprised that Bischoff was there and it worked out great.
There is another potential spoiler for this week's Dynamite, something we covered in yesterday's video, so be sure to check that out if you want. Next up, no fans at SummerSlam? Speaking of fans, will there be any fans at SummerSlam now that the WWE has moved out of the Performance Center into Orlando's Amway Center? According to Spec Sports 360's John Alba, the answer is sadly no, including the Raw or SmackDown shows scheduled to take place there after SummerSlam. A rep from the city of Orlando tells me in my News 13, WWE has a use agreement with Amway Center through October 30th with no fans present in the building. So barring an amendment in the agreement, no live fans through October, but WWE gets arena access for all events through then. They seem to be hoping a move to the larger venue will help jumpstart Raw and SmackDown's sagging ratings. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens is reporting, with WWE using a larger venue than the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, the company plans to use more production people to get back to the same presentation that they had before the COVID-19 pandemic started. This includes more bells and whistles. Despite this move, Dave Meltzer thinks that the WWE is merely making another cosmetic change to its product. Speaking on the Wrestling Observer, Dave observed, "I know that there was a lot of feeling that reason. Because AEW is never doing better because either they have a better product or better matches or better workers. Okay, they're doing better and there's always another reason. So now the reason is that it's too dark and their place is more lively, which it is, this is true. So we gotta get out of that place, the Performance Center, and not make it dark and then we'll be back on our way. Again, it's not like they could ever be presenting a better product." One of the biggest potential changes would be the use of virtual fans to simulate a capacity crowd in the arena, much as Major League Baseball has been doing for its games, but what exactly does WWE have in mind? Next up, an update on WWE's virtual fans. One big potential change would be the use of virtual fans to simulate a capacity crowd in the arena. Dave Meltzer discussed this on the recent Wrestling Observer Radio episode, saying they're trying to copy what the NBA and baseball are doing, so it's that Fox has seen this and Fox wants it. It's gonna be basically what's done with those sports. Ringside News' Felix Upton elaborated further, explaining, fans will have the ability to log into an app and have their face being put on a big board on the side of the arena. This sounds like a very exciting idea and it could add to the program, but WWE isn't going to present any new technology that hasn't already been implemented. Are you excited about the WWE's move to the larger Amway Center, and do you think it will help the WWE's ratings? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, why WWE dropped its dancers. Now, if you're wondering what happened to Raw Underground's female dancers in Week 2, you may recall that some fans as well as some wrestlers, including WWE Hall of Famer Alundra Blaze and Lance Storm, complained about the dancers' presence, arguing they were sexist and set the WWE Women's Revolution back. Now, the Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer speculated on why they disappeared. An interesting note between Week 1 and Week 2 is they dropped the dancing girls. Since last week and this week were taped together, that says after they taped the first installment, somebody convinced Vince, or Vince himself on his own, decided the dancing girls don't fit. It's probably a good call because when you spend so much time pushing yourselves as leaders in women's sports, even if you're actually 50 plus years behind the actual leaders, presenting a show with that type of dancing girls doesn't counteract that. The female dancers didn't add anything to Raw Underground, so it's arguable there was no reason to keep them around, particularly in light of the backlash from some fans. And these are probably some of the same fans who want the Attitude Era back. But there you have it, guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.